Sneaky Nation, welcome back for some more Warframe. In this episode we have a lot to go over, but we're going to start with a little mini tour of our current Clan Dojo progress. So last time we talked about this topic, we had just announced that there is a new clan division on all three platforms. That's PS4, PC, and Xbox One. And I gave contact information in case you want to join the clan. We're still recruiting, we have a lot of space. Doesn't matter what platform you're on, just make sure you leave a comment below and I'll make sure you get an invite. Alright, so on PS4, we only started with the little tiny room that you start out with when you first make the dojo. We started building some additional rooms and some decorations, but there's going to be a significant amount of new content in the clan that you haven't seen yet, unless you're already in the clan and you've come here. But this here is the Shadow Barracks. This allows us to have up to 30 members in our clan max. We currently have 18, which is pretty decent progress since last time, since I was the only one in it when I made the first video. But this room here will serve as our barracks room. There are 4 different ones we can build to ultimately get up to 1,000 max members in our clan. And I look forward to hopefully getting somewhere around there at some point. I'm not sure if we will, but it'd be nice, it'd be nice. Alright, so this hallway is our reactor hallway. These 2 doors are going to lead into eventually hallways that will branch off into additional reactors. These reactors are of course necessary so that all the other rooms can be built in the dojo. Other than that, they're basically pointless. And they're kind of pretty, but just useless. Let's get out of here. I'm sick of it already. I can't stand going in those rooms. I mean, we can put some decorations in and make them look a little bit nicer, but that's like really low on my priority list. Alright, so we have the dragons over here. These were made in the first video. We made this banner, although I'm probably going to move that around somewhere else. We have a trading post. That's probably going to move too. I don't think I want this to be the starting room anymore. We're going to change that up. But it's still currently the starting room as it currently stands. This is one of the hallways that we need to have. We'll put a bunch of decorations in here eventually too to make it look better. We can also change all the colors of all the walls and everything too. We're researching all that currently. Okay, so this is one of the gardens. Pretty nice looking. I want to put one in here so we can kind of branch off into different aspects. So over here is our clan weapon and also clan Warframe research labs. And this one here is for the corpus. So all of this is energy based stuff, and we've made some good progress. I mean, we still have a lot to go, but yeah, like this one only has 15,000 credits more that it needs, and also 600 polymer bundle. A part of me kind of wishes that we had actually waited to upgrade the barracks, because it actually lowers the cost to actually research all this stuff, but it's alright. We needed more members anyway. I want to get everybody in that wanted to join. By the way, if you do want to join, keep in mind, if you join the clan and you leave, you will not get another invite. I know I mentioned that in the first video. I didn't want any clan whores joining the clan because that was a big problem with our first clan, and we've already had some people do that, so keep that in mind if you want to join, please. And we've got good progress going in here too. We actually have the Wukong research starting. I can't wait to get him on my PS4 accounts. And we have Banshee, Zephyr, and Volt started. All these weapons currently underway or either completed. And I mean, we're basically more than halfway done with getting everything researched. We also have all the colors over here. I mean, progress still needs to be made, but we've got some good progress going. We'll eventually have it all. It's just going to be a slow process. The more of you who come in here and actually help out and contribute resources, the faster it's going to go. I mean, pretty much the basic reason to join a clan is if you want to get access to all these Clan Dojo exclusive weapons and warframes. And also, of course, to, be part of something awesome. Our Sneaky Nation community. And just to look at all the progress in here, I mean, we still have a lot of ways to go. Especially that stuff that requires an attain extract. That is so annoying to get because you can only get it from alert missions. Alright, and then down here's our Oracle. This is the room required so you can actually build any research rooms, research labs. Alright. Now keep in mind, this is all just a work in progress. This isn't necessarily the layout as it will stand in the final situation, but this is what it looks like currently. This is another one of the halls that's required. Now, I'm not entirely positive what I'm going to put down here. I'm thinking this might be a obstacle course. Or we could potentially put like a dueling room down there or something. We'll figure it out, no problem. Now down here, maybe I was thinking of putting an elevator because we need to have different levels on here too. We don't just want to have one flat dojo, we want to have elevation. Alright, so that's just a quick little look at our progress in here. And again, we have 18 members currently in the PS4 version. So if you'd like to join, let me know in the comments below, include your username, but make sure you leave your old clan first before requesting an invite. If you don't, then you will not be able to get an invite because the game doesn't allow you to receive an invite until you leave it. Alright, now I want to take a look at some secondary weapons I had previously used in the series that I didn't really give a proper look at. And first up is the Acrid. This was apparently one of the best, or I guess it was technically the best secondary at one time in the game. And when I first used it, I did kind of remember enjoy using it, but it wasn't really anywhere near as powerful as it could potentially be. So it didn't even have a catalyst on it at the time, as a matter of fact. I put a catalyst on it, and it deals primarily toxin damage as the base value, but you can of course adjust that with the different elemental damage types. And I did of course put my typical viral build on it, and as you can see, it's doing fairly well against these level 30 Grineer. So it's certainly working pretty nicely, and I actually kind of miss using this because really up to this point in the series, secondaries just have not been my thing. I've always focused on primaries and melee weapons, and then secondaries always took a backseat. I just always used the Ray Twin Vipers for the most part. And then lately, of course, the Vacor Murloc has become my favorite secondary. Nothing's going to beat it, very likely, at least not for a long time. But using something like this is fun. It mixes it up a bit and makes it a little bit more interesting. Actually kind of enjoying this. I mean, it's only taking a couple of shots each. Yeah, it's only taking like 2 shots. And it is still dealing damage from over time, so wow. I like it. I like it. Now, here's a closer look at it. It does look really awesome, and it's actually really big. It's a lot bigger than you'd expect from a secondary weapon. And I like how it has like the toxin kind of pulsing through it like that. But let's take a look at the mods I currently had on there for that. So keep in mind, of course, this is nowhere near the max potential this could potentially reach. There are still 2 mod slots that are completely empty, so if we use some formulas on here, we can make this even stronger than it currently is. But as you can see, we got the viral damage up to a total of 850.6, which it's pretty good. It was a lot better than my last one. I think it was around like 200 before the catalyst went on there. Alright, but anyway, so we have a Hornet Strike on here. It's not maxed out, still 2 more to go. And Barrel Diffusion for multi-shot increases damage as well. So does Lethal Torrent, it increases by 60% as well as a fire rate. And then Pistol Pestilence increases the toxin damage, as does Pathogen Rounds. And then Frostbite adds the cold damage to it, and that's what makes viral damage. Toxin and cold combined makes viral. And viral directly attacks the health of enemies in case you weren't already aware. So different elemental types work in different situations. Like if you use corrosive damage, that goes right through the Grineer's armor, so you might want to use that specifically for Grineer builds. And that's why they actually have 3 different configurations at the top here, A, B, and C. It's typically meant to use 1 for Grineer, 1 for Corpus, and then 1 for the Infestation. Although it's kind of interesting with the Sentient faction in there now. I wonder if they're going to add another one eventually, or maybe that doesn't really matter. Who knows? Alright, but anyways, on to the next one. And by next one, I do of course mean we have to change the appearance of this. So let's give it a few different randomized colors. See if we can find a good one. Oh, I like that. I like that. That actually looks really cool. We got our second try, everybody. This is a miracle. Alright, now onto the Bronco Prime. Now, this one has not appeared in the series up to this point, but this one is pretty good. I mean, I haven't really used it too much. I used it to get up to rank 30, just to get it up there so I can make a video on it. But it's basically a little secondary shotgun, and it has a semi-auto trigger, mostly impact damage. In fact, by far, impact rules this weapon, but we're going to try it against the Grineer regardless. It's still working really well against him. I mean, look at this. Obviously, with the shotgun, you want to be up close and personal. I also put a viral damage build on there, shocker. So that's, I'm sure, helping with the Grineer. And it's working quite nicely. I'm a big fan of it. Alright, let's use some of Zephyr's abilities too over here. We don't use Zephyr enough in the series either. We need to get some tornadoes in this business. Stay away, Dorothy. Tornadoes for days. Alright, but I'm liking this, but I think it has a little too small of a clip, actually. It can only hold 4 in it at a time. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still really powerful, so I could potentially kill 4 enemies with all 4 of these rounds. I mean, of course, it's shooting more than 1 round at a time, but still. And here's a closer look at it. It really doesn't look like much, but as you could tell during that mission, it really packs a punch, so this thing is quite deceiving. Now, it is possible to build 2 at once, an Bronco Prime, so you get 1 in each hand. But I want to see what it was like as a solo weapon first before we tried that. Obviously having 2 is going to be twice the fun, so it's ideal to go with that if you can. Now let's look at the mod setup I was using. So we had Hornet Strike to increase the base damage again, Barrel Diffusion to increase the damage from the multi-shot. Now if you look at the base damage values for each stat over there on the left hand side, let's take concussion rounds off for a second. So you can see that the impact damage is by far the highest value on there, 689 compared to puncture and slash at 86.2. So when I see something that's that big of a difference, I always try to mod towards it, so that's why I'm putting a base impact damage mod on there. And that brought up over 1,000, which obviously is going to be really great against Corpus. It was working really well against those Grineer though. And then Stunning Speed, this increases both reload speed and status chance. The reason I was using this was because a 4 bullet clip really isn't very much, and you have to constantly reload with that, so it's obviously ideal to have a reload speed boost on there, just so you get back to shooting as fast as possible. Now, Pathogen Rounds, this increases toxin damage, and that combined with the cold damage from Frostbite made almost 1,300 viral damage. Now, I could have put Deep Freeze on there, which would have increased it 90% instead of 60. It would have dropped the status chance, but I probably would have did that regardless. And that would have worked out a lot better for the base value for the viral damage. That would have definitely been over 1,300. But unfortunately, I don't have enough points to equip that right now. I'm going to have to put at least 2 forms on this thing, obviously. But I'm going to wait until this is an Act Bronco Prime. I'm not going to just do it on a solo Bronco. Now, we do, of course, have to change the color scheme. Let's get something cool looking on this thing. Terrible. A little too blue for my liking. Not a big fan. Very feminine. Very feminine. Yeah. Let's go with that. That's going to be our Bronco Prime from now on. And now it's time for the Sicarus Prime. I don't think this has been in a video before. I could be mistaken, but I'm almost positive it has not been. Now, this is another primarily impact damage weapon, so it's not ideal against the Grineer, but as you can see, it's working very well against them right now. They're all level 30. These have been Ceres missions, by the way. Typically come here on these survival missions on Ceres just to show things off, give a basic idea. Now, unfortunately, this one does not drop in the game anymore. You can't get the blueprints unless you go buy it from somebody in the trade chat or something. It was vaulted back in September, I guess, so unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit challenging or pricey to get your hands on it if you still want to get access to it at this point. Man, it's really tearing right through them. Look at this. I like it. Okay, we need a tornado up in here. Save our life, tornado. Save our life. Alright, but anyways, I was a little bit surprised because this doesn't really have very high base damage values, so I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it is, but I mean, it's really not that bad. So if you're upgrading the regular Sicarus up to the Sicarus Prime, you can see some different changes over here on the right hand side. Number 1, slash and puncture go from 4.5 up to 9.6. Impact drops from 21 down to 12.8. So essentially it makes this weapon more evenly matched against most of the factions instead of being primarily only good against the Corpus. I mean, it is still slightly better against the Corpus, but I mean, it's more middle of the road than the regular one is. And then the status chance goes from 2.5 up to 10. That's going to make a big difference. And then magazine 15 up to 21. That alone would probably give me the edge to go for it. And the fire rate goes from 7.39 up to 9.38. That's awesome. Critical multiplier takes a hit, goes from 2 down to 1.5. Not a huge deal because critical chance of 10%, I probably wouldn't even put a mod on there for that anyway, so I'm not concerned about it. And then accuracy goes from 20 up to 25, so that is awesome too. Alright, so let's go on here. This is a closer look, by the way, at what it looks like. And as you can see, it is a pretty huge gun. It's so big I can swing it over my shoulder. Okay, so mod setup we had in that video. We have Hornet Strike for base damage, Barrel Diffusion for multi-shot again, Lethal Torrent for increased fire rate and multi-shot damage. Now, because the impact was slightly higher, I did have the concussion rounds mod on there. I don't think this is necessary because, I mean, it's only slightly higher, so it's not making a huge difference. But I just want to try out to see what it's like, so I'll likely take that off and put something else in its place. Maybe another Toxin mod, who knows. And then Deep Freeze for cold damage. We have Frostbite for cold damage and status chance. And then Toxin and status chance from Pistol Pestilence. And that created 523 viral damage. So that's really awesome. If we can actually get through the shields of the Corpus, get through the Grineer's armor, that viral damage will do nicely against them. You know what time it is. We got to change the color scheme to make it a little bit more personalized. Let's see how we can do that. I mean, that one wasn't horrible. Let's see if we can get a better one. Wow, this doesn't really let you change much at all. This barely lets you change any color on this. Not a huge fan of that, but I mean, whatever. Okay, I mean, that's not bad. I kind of like that. Alright, let's go with that. What are you looking at, pervert? Alright, Seeky Nation, that'll about do for this video. I hope you enjoyed as always. We again are looking for more members for our clans. We have one on each platform for Warframe, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. If you'd like to join, please contact the clan leader for whichever clan it happens to be. And we will get back to you ASAP. We have plenty of space, and we want to try to make this into one awesome Seeky Nation community. And that's just one of the many steps. Also, we have a Discord community, which is a free app you can download on your phone, tablet, computer. It's basically like a little chat app that you can go on, and I'm pretty active over there, so that's actually the best way to contact me if you have anything you want to say, questions you want to ask. So head on over there. There is a link in the description. If you don't already, follow me on Twitch for all my live streams. You can also set up notifications, get an alert whenever I go live in the future. And I do always play with viewers whenever I'm playing a multiplayer game or whatnot. I don't play only Warframe, but that is a game that I play a lot of the time over there, just like I do on the YouTube channel. So make sure you head on over there, and if you're new, join us in Seeky Nation by clicking subscribe. That way you can watch more videos like this in the future. Also from plenty of other games, I do a lot of playthroughs on various games, and I will see you next time.